see. But yeah, you know, Bitcoin eventually it crashes, just like anything. You know, anything that's a Ponzi scheme, obviously, I'm here to bet against it, and proudly every time. Ooh. But yeah, let's see here. Yeah, 4% interest rate, which is kind of nice. I mean, like I use the cash reserve pretty much just as a, even though they technically say it's not a savings account, I use it as one. I use it as kind of a, it's a way for, like, if I have a, I've been trying to have at least a bare minimum of $3,000 to $4,000 in that price range in my checking account. But at the same time, I also like to make sure that I keep that in there just, you know, to pay bills, basically. And then the cash reserve is pretty much there to, you know, kind of accumulate over a little bit of time. And then whenever I feel like it, I could just kind of, so I could basically take the money out whenever I want out of the savings. As if I choose to, though. I may choose not to, you know. I really don't believe in savings accounts for the most part. I'm really not a big fan of those. But at the same time, you know, it is better than having $10,000 in the checking account and not getting any sort of interest on it. So I think my goal really is to have $3,000 into the checking. 3,000 to 4,000 is my range. Preferably 4,000 in checking at all times, or at least roughly 3,000 to 4,000 in checking. And then, you know, because the only thing that sucks about having that in the checking is it doesn't get any interest on it, but that's okay because I need it when I need it. So I needed to pay bills, I needed to pay off my credit cards. So I'd rather have that not doing anything, and that's okay because as long as I'm paying off all credit cards, paying off everything, that's the most important key. And then overall, the goal is to have like $7,000 to maybe $10,000 just sitting in the savings account for shits and giggles. So that way I'm at least, you know, in just in case I ever need it, for obviously. But yeah, it would just basically be accumulating interest for me and giving me a little bit of extra cash off of the cash that I have in there. But yeah, I still believe primarily in just invest. That's all I really do. But let's see, yeah, and especially in a variable interest savings account, I think, you know, because if the Federal Reserve interest rates go up, honestly, that cash becomes a little more valuable to some degree. I'm still not, like I said, still not a fan of holding on to cash. But I feel if I do need to have, it's good to have a little extra money on the side, and if it's going to get a little interest, then that's fine. It still doesn't really keep up with inflation, though, because ProGamer Pro is asking 4% of interest. Is it less than inflation? I actually think I think that is less than inflation. That's one of the reasons why I'm so heavily invested in, you know, things like stocks and things like, even bonds are all right. Bonds are not inflation proof, though. That's the only thing that pisses me off, is bonds really are not. So I'm not really, like I said, I'm not really a big fan of saving my money. I don't really believe in it. I believe in investing. I believe in taking that money, trading it away for, you know, stocks and, if possible, real estate. But the closest thing to real estate that I own is real estate investment trusts, and I will always be a fan of those overall. Mainly because I don't have to deal with tenants. I still get to be basically a landlord without actually being a landlord. The beauty is I'm just an owner in companies that own real estate, that lease out the real estate to others, and it's really kind of a nice thing, so I really appreciate it.